Hello and welcome to Sportingways.com. My name's Thomas Rooney and I'm joined by Joe Rooney once again. And at the moment it's all about the international football building up to Euro 2012. And that's no different this weekend and this week with some international friendlies to look at. And much like last week, we'll focus on the teams that have qualified for the Euros and look ahead to their chances in Poland and Ukraine this summer. And the first game to look at is France versus Serbia. This is on Thursday night. Obviously the French looking to prepare for Poland and Ukraine the best way possible. So we'll look at France, like we say, in a bit of detail, then we'll have a quick word on Serbia as well. And obviously the French, they're unbeaten since September 2010, which is positive and kind of moving forward after what was a disastrous World Cup for them, wasn't it, in South Africa. And with Laurent Blanc in charge, there could be positive and potential dark horse this summer.
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. I think sort of in a similar situation to England, really. They're a big side, no doubt about it. They've got the players, but they haven't done it, and the expectation is lower, which could definitely play in their favour. I think, yeah, they've got the players definitely to do so.
Yeah, you mentioned the players they've got. I mean, they've got Nasri, Ribery, Benzema. They've got Evra as well from experience, and they've got the likes of Ben Arfa and Cabaye, done very well for Newcastle in the Premier League. Sort of younger players they can bring on, and kind of it's the benefit of youth, really, isn't it? Because maybe from 1998 World Cup they went in with some young players, and Trezeguet and Henry were the youngest, and maybe they can go in with the same sort of approach this time around.
Yeah, I think so. I think the players they've got, I mean, you say Ribery, Nasri and Benzema especially, I think, is just a massive array of talent going forward. And I think, they're all in their 20s, they're almost all at their peak, Benzema, he's had a great season with Real Madrid, his confidence is high, same as Nasri with Manchester City. He really came into the season at the end, didn't he? Yeah, I think they've got such an array of talent and just they've got that raw pace and creativity that are going to cause a lot of teams problems, I think.
So as an England fan, sorry, I would be worried about playing them first up, to be honest, and I think they'll have a fearless approach. And England, maybe despite sort of what the attention being taken out of England a bit, they'll still be a bit edgy, and I don't really fancy playing them, to be honest.
No, I don't. I mean, you look at that front three and you compare that to England's front three at the minute, and I think France is a long way ahead. I think Benzema's going to cause some real problems. I think he could be someone that scores a lot of goals in this tournament.
Okay, so I have a quick word on Serbia. Obviously, we spoke about them last week, but they lost 2-0 to Spain in the friendly we spoke to last week. Not a massive surprise there. This is just another chance against the top side, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got to go into it almost fearless, go out and try and attack and try and put a good game on for their fans, definitely. And momentum is such a big thing in football, as we know, and it could, they could cause an upset here, and the confidence starts to build. I mean, they haven't been in great form, I don't think, since they failed to qualify, so they're going to be looking for a big performance here.
Yeah, they also haven't got a competitive game until September, so how much is what they do now really going to gauge on that, you don't know.
Yeah.
They'll be looking, so a game against a good side, and they'll be looking for a positive evening.
Yeah.
So we'll go for a prediction on this one. I think France will come through on top quite comfortably. They're more motivated, they're more kind of prepared and focused, and as I do think they've got some very, very good players, so I'm going to go for 4-1 to the home side.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, like you said, I think it's going to be a solid France performance, but I think it'll be 2-0 in the end. Actually, I think they'll go up early and they might bring their players off, just rest them, and the game will peter out a bit, but 2-0 to France.
Okay, next up we've got Italy versus Russia. This is on Friday, this international friendly. Two teams that have qualified for Euro 2012, so it should be a very competitive encounter and important for both sides' preparations. We'll talk about Italy to begin with, and to be honest, who knows what to expect from the Italians. When you're putting your hopes on the likes of Mario Balotelli, it really could go either way, couldn't it? It could go very well, it could go very wrong. They've lost their last two games, both on home soil, so do you think just the main thing to conclude about Italy at the moment is that they are incredibly unpredictable?
Absolutely, completely. Just, you don't know what you're going to get with them, you really don't. I mean, they're the sort of side that they could go, they won't win a game up to Euro 2012, be rubbish in the groups but get through and then go on and win the tournament. You just don't know, you really don't know what you're going to get with them. You say about Balotelli, another player who just epitomises it for them, doesn't he? You have no idea what you're going to get. Could be world class, but could be absolutely awful.
Get sent off in the first game.
Exactly. You just don't know. So yeah, very unpredictable.
In terms of Italian football, obviously there's not too long before there's negative headlines over. There's been match fixing stuff again recently, but we'll focus on the slightly more positive things. And on the field, like Juventus had an unbeaten domestic campaign, which is a tremendous achievement, and they've got the likes of Pirlo, who's a very creative player, who are in the Italy squad, and they can take that sort of unbeatable mentality into the Euros, hopefully for them. They're trying to change their style of play, sort of be a bit more attacking, a bit more positive going forward, but do you think they're hard to beat will be their main asset still?
I think so, yeah. I think especially in these important tournament games, I think it's going to be, they're going to be relying on solid defence and then just clinching the game 1-0, 2-1, something like that, I think. But they said about the Juventus players, it's a big thing, confidence going into it, and they're going to have that mentality of, we haven't been beaten all season, so let's keep that going this summer.
Try and carry it through to the Italian squad.
Definitely.
And obviously, Russia, they'll fancy their chances of causing a few upsets, I think, this summer, because they're a side that will be used to the conditions, I think, and sort of the hostile atmosphere that they'll probably be used to as well. And they've gone 13 games unbeaten as well. So do you think they could be a surprise package?
Yeah, I think Russia are actually a really good side, and not too many people are talking about them either. And there's always one team that seems to cause a few upsets and go further than what they're expected to, and I think that could be Russia this time. That's definitely going to be suited to it.
In terms of their main threats, obviously a lot of players that we recognise from Premier League football, like Arshavin, Pogrebnyak, who scored some goals for Fulham, and Pavlyuchenko, who's obviously with Spurs for quite a while before moving back. And obviously there's some talented players there, and sort of direct attacking players there. They'll cause defensive problems.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with Arshavin and Pavlyuchenko as well, I think they're going to feel like they've got a few points to prove, because they didn't really set Premier League alight, did they? And I think they might feel, especially against the England players, that they really have something. If they do meet them, they'll have something to prove against them and show that they are, big names in world football.
I can imagine Arshavin having a really good tournament, frustrating Arsenal fans, but we'll see, because Russia are a very good side, and this, as we said, should be a very competitive friendly. So we'll go for a prediction on this one. I actually think it's going to be a 0-0 draw. I've got a feeling Italy are very sort of conservative side. They are trying to push them forward more, but I think Russia will have enough to hold them out. So I think it's going to be 0-0.
Yeah, I think I can see a draw in this one as well. I think the two sides are actually pretty evenly matched at the minute, to be honest. But I think there will be a couple of goals that go 1-1.
Okay, next up we've got England versus Belgium. This is on Saturday evening at Wembley. It's the last game for England before they fly out to Poland and Ukraine for Euro 2012. We're talking about England to begin with, and decent performance at Norway last weekend. Couldn't really have asked for more. Clean sheet and a victory.
No, it was decent. I mean, it wasn't the most enthralling game to watch, was it? But it was very much a Hodgson's team's performance. I think they're solid at the back. Got an early goal, and they were decent. There was definitely some positives.
Probably should have had more goals, really, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I think so.
I think in terms of obviously the positives are probably Andy Carroll did well. He led the line pretty well after a lot of criticism over the last few months, and Ashley Young, who I think could possibly be the secret weapon for England this year. Well, not so secret now because he's playing for Manchester United, but I've just got a feeling that he could be the one that really turns on the star for England. Yeah,
I think so. I mean, I think Carroll was actually one of England's best players in that game. I thought he held the ball up well. He brought players into the game, and I think him and Ashley Young they linked up really well together. And Young is a player that I really like, and I rate him. And like I say, I think he could set this tournament.
For some reason, I've got a horrible feeling he's going to pick up an injury. I don't know why.
Yeah, he has a slight knock, hasn't he? He's sort of light training, but there's always that worry when England have a decent player.
Okay, and obviously, talking of injuries, there was a negative that Gareth Barry is out of the squad, replaced by Phil Jagielka. Yeah. Some people consider that as positive because they don't like the way Barry sort of has played the England team, but I think he is an important player for England. He's one that maybe means they have to change their approach a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's Mr. Reliable, isn't he? You know exactly what you're going to get with him. He's not. I can't remember too many bad performances that he's actually put in, and he's a big loss to the squad. So I think he's quite a big member in that squad as well, and he's got a lot of experience. And he'll be missed.
I think against Germany in the World Cup was maybe a shocker.
Yeah,
but they're few and far between, and it should be a good atmosphere at Wembley as well. I think because it's the last game before they fly out, and it's kind of a fresh feel to it because Hodgson's in. If Capello was there, I think it'd be a pretty stale affair. But it's his first home game in charge, and you think it could be a decent evening for England? Yeah,
I think so. I think it's going to be a competitive game, but I think the atmosphere should be decent, and people will be looking to give him a good send off, and I think it'll be a good evening.
Okay, and for Belgium, they have some more than capable players, without doubt. They've got lots of company, and Hazard is just on the verge of signing for Chelsea, which we've got for Malin, for his Premier League experience. And so all the teams that didn't qualify, because that's normally what happens, you play a team that didn't qualify, this is strong opposition for England and one that give them a good test.
Yeah, I think it's perfect opposition for England. They're not going out and playing a team that they're going to roll over 5-0 just with ease. Like I say, they've got players, and with Company and Vermaelen, they're two centre backs that would get into most international sides. So it's going to be, they are of the highest quality in terms of central defence. And Hazard is, he can cause some real problems for England. He's a very, very good player. Okay,
so on that note, we'll go for a prediction on this one: England versus Belgium. I think England will finish with a win. I do. I think it's going to be 3-0 to the home side.
Yeah, I think England are going to have a win. I don't think it will be so straightforward. I think Belgium are a decent side, and I think England will win 2-1.
Okay, next up we've got Holland versus Northern Ireland. Sort of continuing the pattern, we're going to look at Holland in more detail and their chances for the Euros this summer. And look, going into this Euros, actually, they're not in the best of form. They've just won one in their last 5, and that was against England, and that was a game that England could have got something from on another day. They're still one of the teams to watch, aren't they, with some quality players?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're not in the greatest form, but they have the likes of Van Persie and Robin, Van der Vaart, players like that, Sneijder. You know, they've got real quality in their side, and they can cause any team problem on their day, definitely.
And do you think it's the last chance for this generation with the likes of RVP? He's at his peak, absolutely, isn't he? Like, he's never had a season like this, and if they don't do it here, then obviously he's going to be 30s by the time the next one comes around. The likes of, like you say, Sneijder and Vermeulen and Van der Vaart, they're all going to be at that 30, 31. So do you think it's one of the biggest chances left for this generation of Holland players?
Yeah, I think it is their big chance. I think especially for Van Persie, because after having a season like this, I can't actually see him staying fit for a season like this again. You know, he's completely at his peak. He's in goal scoring form of his life, and this is his chance to really prove himself as one of the world's best strikers, I think. And and it is. I think this is almost their golden generation, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is their chance. This is their big one.
Okay, and we've got Denmark, Germany and Portugal in their group, so it's very tough, and they'll need to beat sort of one of Germany or Portugal, presumably, to progress. So it's going to be tough for them.
Oh yeah, they're going to have to be at their absolute best, definitely, because any sort of slip up, and you know, Denmark are a side not to be taken lightly. You know, I think they won their qualifying group actually. So yeah, they're going to have to be at their best to beat any of these sides, and yeah, it's going to be tough for them.
Okay, and Northern Ireland, obviously Michael O'Neill's team struggling of late, to say the least. They've lost their last 5, 1 win, and that was against Faroe Islands in their last 14.
Yeah.
And it's just all a bit of a struggle for them. And this is one, you know, it's a good trip to Holland to take on a good side, but you know, is it really one they're relishing or not?
Yeah, you kind of wonder. You know, it's going to be a massive occasion for them, but is it really going to help the side? Because you know, they're likely to be on the end of quite a heavy defeat, and is that just going to shatter confidence even more? Would they be better off just, you know, going away on a training camp and just building some sort of team bonding or something? Because yeah, but you know, they've got to go out there and give it a go and see what they can do.
And it's also all about World Cup qualification for Northern Ireland, isn't it? And it must be really hard to motivate and go again, sort of from friendlies thinking, right, we've got to pick ourselves up for the next qualifying campaign, having lost so many in a row. Yeah,
definitely. And I think with not qualifying for a tournament in so long, it's really hard to motivate them and say, look, this is going to be our year, we're going to do it here. You know, they'll put everything into it, but it's going to be so tough for them. But it's just what the manager can do and how he can motivate them now.
Okay, so we'll go for a prediction. I think, as we say, I think it's going to be Holland that are going to get a fairly comfortable win. I think Northern Ireland will maybe put up a decent fight at stages, because I think, given they don't qualify for tournaments, this is one of the pinnacles of their international careers, a lot of these players, because they're playing a team as good as Holland. But in the end, I think there'll be a home win. I think I'm going to go for 3-0.
Yeah, I think Netherlands they're going to hit form just at the right time or the wrong time for Northern Ireland. I think actually they're going to win 5-0.
Okay, finally we can look at Portugal versus Turkey. This is another international friendly this weekend. And we'll talk about Portugal sort of in more detail because they've qualified for the Euros. And in terms of their Euro 2012 chances, they're the outsiders, kind of one of the 6th favourites, 7th favourites, something like that. But surely any team with Cristiano Ronaldo in has got a chance.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, with the goals he scored this year for Real Madrid, he's an absolute machine in front of goal, isn't he? And yeah, you know, if he hits anything like some decent form, then they could really go far in this tournament. But it relies massively on him, I think.
Portugal's over-reliant, aren't they, really?
I think so, yeah. I think every time they're going to be looking to Ronaldo, and you know, every time there's a free kick, they're going to be thinking, right, Ronaldo's got to get this in. And yeah, they are almost too heavily reliant on him.
Okay, they also struggled a bit to qualify, which perhaps shows they don't get the best out of Ronaldo, and they haven't got as much to go alongside him, because they took playoffs against Bosnia to get through, and they never seem to turn on a major tournament, do they? I mean, and there's also no goals in their last 2 games, so slightly worrying, and there's not really momentum there, but they need to maybe start that this weekend. Yeah,
definitely. I think the thing with Ronaldo as well, he hasn't sort of set it alight at international level, has he? Yeah, it's going to be tough for them. I think they really need to start winning some games as they go into this, because you know they've got a difficult group.
Last chance, isn't it?
Yeah, and they've got a difficult group where they're going to need to be at their best to win.
Yeah, you mentioned their group. They've got obviously Denmark, who they lost to in qualifying, and sort of Denmark won that group. And then they've got Germany, who made tournaments, always a tough opposition. Then Holland, who are an extremely talented side. So they need to beat one of probably Germany or Holland to progress. And to be honest, I can see them dropping out of the group stage.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Germany and Holland are the favourites to progress, no doubt about that. And yeah, they are going to have to beat one of them and just be at their absolute best. And I know we said a bit, Ronaldo is just going to have to be on top of his game. He's got to hope that players around him raise their game, and but there's no doubt they're capable of causing a few upsets.
They can beat those.
They can do it, and they just, if they beat one of them, then there's every chance they'll go through. But they'll have the sort of, Denmark will have that psychological advantage over them as well, saying that we've beat you before, so we're going to go do it again.
Okay, so yeah, tough times, interesting times for Portugal this summer. And as for Turkey, obviously Portugal progressed in the playoffs. Turkey lost out to Croatia, which was a heartbreaking way to go, being one game away from the championships. Their form's been up and down since then, kind of rotated between defeat and victory, and that's happened for so many teams we've talked about that it's maybe hard to motivate in what is a bit of a qualification hangover, isn't it? Yeah, and I mean Turkey they are one of the bigger teams that haven't qualified, and when you look at sort of the smaller teams, it's all about we're playing the big guys, we're happy to be there. And I think Turkey, I don't think they're going to be really too up for this game. They're kind of going to be thinking we don't need this, we should be there, and they won't like that they're the team that are being used as another team to warm up for. So yeah, it's going to be tough for them, I think. Okay, so we'll go for a prediction on this one. Portugal versus Turkey. I think Portugal will get the goal that they haven't had for a couple of games, but I think it'll just be the one goal, and we'll go for 1-0 to the home side. Yeah, I think it's going to be a decent game. I also think Portugal will come out on top in the end, but a few more goals. I think Portugal 2, Turkey 1.